All right. So season 8 is around the corner. We got the patch notes today. I'm gonna go over them really quick, kind of give my ideas, my thoughts on them, and let's get right into it. Okay. So overall hero updates: max ultimate charge preserved on a hero swap reduced by 25 to 15. This is kind of counteract the swapping heroes part of the game right now. I think that's a good change. I don't really have any specific ideas on how to solve the hero swap issue. I just think it's a natural spiral. Ever since you remove that one tank, it's pretty natural that you can't supplement the weaknesses of another tank hero anymore with another tank. So it's kind of like since the game is kind of warped around tanks, it's kind of hard to unless your team is swapping, to work around the weaknesses of a hero. So now that the heroes themselves, by themselves, are the main core focus, it's kind of hard to balance that. You can't really balance that. Go with how the characters are now. So, because the Zarya versus D.Va matchup is always going to be horrendous for the most part. So you can't really fix this issue. I'm kind of cool with them not enforcing it, because I feel like they wanted people to swap at 30%. At 25, they're like, maybe this is a problem. At 15, I think we're going to be at a sweet spot. So I'm very cool with this. Let's get into tank changes. Tank. Doomfist Meteor Strike now regenerates 75 health per second in the air. 75 per second is pretty good. But your ult is only 4 seconds. So you can get full health, but you have to wait through your whole ult. So say you I feel like most Doomfists, if they aren't full HP, they will mostly use their ult instantaneously to get the armor and everything. So his ult will be better, but I don't know if that necessarily saves or fixes the problem of a Doom ulting in and then just getting 5-man focus the second he lands. But I like this change. It's either you do this or you rework his ult. So I'm cool with this change. Ult cost reduced or increased by 16 to kind of counteract that. He gets his ult pretty quick, so I don't know if this necessarily matters that much or if it's going to matter that much. But I like this change. Pretty good change. Okay. Junker Queen Scatter Gun reduced by 8% on the spread. I don't know if this change is necessary whatsoever. I play Junker Queen a lot, so I don't know how to feel about it. I like it as playing Junker Queen, but I don't know if it's necessarily a good change. Probably not. She's pretty strong. But I like the change, whatever. Junker Queen having a little bit of spread. Who really cares? Whatever. Fine change. Mauga having armor going to have 150 armor and 500 base HP. 350 base HP and 150 armor, which is pretty good. I feel like he needed armor. He was so squishy, just being 600 HP of just pure getting shot at. For some reason, the patch notes are an open queue statistics, so it's 500 HP into the 600 that he had. But he needed armor. Head hit volume reduced by 15. Great change. I remember in Season 2 when I played Junker Queen and they increased her hitbox by it must have been, I think it was 15 or 10. You could really feel that change. So I wonder how good that's going to feel with his head hit volume reduced by 15%. It'll probably feel pretty good. So overall, honestly, you could probably just keep these changes. He'd be fine. But they did some other things too, of course. Spread from firing both guns reduced by 15. I don't know why. Sure. Fire rate multiplier reduced, so he's going to do less DPS. But they did compensate, but it looks like they're increasing the damage shot by 0.5. Damage per shot by 0.5. I don't know what this is going to mean for his DPS, but you just have to see how this plays in game. Damage fall off, range increased. Great change. I feel like he did way too little damage at those longer ranges, so I'm a big fan of this change. Max ammo increased. Sure, I don't know if he necessarily needed that, but movement speed penalty reduced per gun from 20 to 15%. Sure, I don't know if those are the biggest issues of the character. All these changes, we'll just have to see how they play. Of course, fall off probably the best one of all these changes. But we'll just have to see how this plays, of course. Overrun can no longer be entered by hack. I don't know why the ability had the unstoppable keyword if it could be stopped, and damage reduction increased. So overrun is going to be, of course, people are talking about how you use overrun to engage. I feel like in most comps, like if you're a one trick learning like playing Mauga, you're going to be using this a lot more to just like run away for the most part, because 30-50% is like an insane escapability, especially since it can't be hacked. So I'm actually a big fan of this change. I like this change. Card Overdrive, life still increased from 60-70. Not going to matter. Not going to matter whatsoever. You're going to get anti-nated as Mauga. So, whatever. It's a buff, but yeah, I don't know if it really matters. Over health and conversion rate increased from 4 to 50. The Berserker passive, which is the if you do critical damage either with your right gun or by headshots, you get armor. I like this buff. I feel like his passive is probably like useless for the most part. Like I didn't really notice. Like of course you see your green armor go up, but like in the middle of a team fight or like during poke damage fights, it was very useless. You get like 10 armor, especially since you did so little damage at range. But you know, it's a change. I like it. Ramatra. Base health reduced from 300 to 200. Of course, this is using OpenQ stuff again. So it's not actually accurate. Say it's like 450 base health in roll queue. Base armor increased from 0 to 100. Overall, I like that change a lot. I think these tanks with literally no armor are completely like they just have a bigger weakness for literally zero reason. So I'm glad they're getting armor. Like, why don't each tank have armor? I don't understand that. Except for Roadhog. Fuck Roadhog. But good change for his base form. His base form is really weak. Projectile size increased on his Void Accelerator from 0.07 to 0.1 meters. So that's like the same size as, I want to say, Alari's now. Or no, they changed Alari's to this number. And damage increased from 4.5 to 5. I'm glad. I think his base form is just completely terrible. And it's not really reasonable to get damage from that range with his gun. So I like all these changes. I like all the changes for Matra. Sigma. Regeneration rate reduced from 185 per second. A lot of people have been kind of crimping on this change. I like this change a lot, actually. I think it does hit on some of the important parts about Sigma, and how he always has his shield up. So certain characters can't really, get those opportunities to do much to that Sigma or the people around him. So overall, I really do like this change. I think it's a little bit too weak of a change. If they maybe went from 100 to 75 health per second, I think that would have been a lot more impactful. I think they're kind of trying to go safe on this, trying to make, not trying to make Sig absolutely terrible, but also trying to keep him in that strong state without absolutely dumpstering on him. So I like this change a lot, actually. Winston. Tesla Cannon now ignores damage reduction for armor. This change. So within a Overwatch 2 game feel perspective, I really like this change. I think it makes you better against Bastion, makes you better against Reinhardt, makes you better against Orisa, makes you better against D.Va, which is pretty good. Those are definitely Winston's weak spots, but also Winston is a very strong character in a lot of metas just because of how he operates in the coordinated team environment. So for gameplay perspective, I like this change. Within a balance perspective, I absolutely hate this change. I don't know if that's really a good thing to balance. So gameplay wise, it's going to feel better, but of course, balance wise, I don't know if that's really the best way to counteract Winston's weaknesses. Even though he's pretty decent, I feel like in certain situations. I think Bastion's just like the main reason why he's terrible, and Alari, Pylon as well. I think those are like the big reasons. Like there's some characters you just simply cannot play the game around or play the game around with. Lifeweaver, for example, if they play Lifeweaver having 225 HP, Zen having 225 HP, I think there's really the reasons why Winston's kind of terrible are these like characters that are getting power crept a little bit too much. Like with Lifeweaver having 225 HP, he doesn't need 225 HP, especially when he has that shield health pool. Same with Zen. But I don't know. Gameplay-wise, it's going to feel good. But balance-wise, I don't know if this is really the right direction to go for Winston. But you know what? We'll just have to see how it plays, of course. But I'm okay with it. We'll have to see how it plays. But I'm okay with it for right now. I might change my mind. Damage. May, her endothermic blaster, her main gun. Maximum ammo reduced from 150 to 120. Great change. Flat out, May has way too much ammo for literally no reason. Perfect change. Soldier. Battlefield increased from 15 to 18. I like this change a lot. I don't really know why. Just using my Overwatch brain, calculating it, I think this is a great change for some reason. But, sure. I'm cool with it. I'm cool with this change. I like it a lot. EMP, ability lockdown duration increased from 1.5 to 3 seconds. Damage reduced from 30 to 25. This change doesn't really matter as much, but honestly, why are we doing this? Just make it 2 seconds. Why 3 seconds? If your team can't impact or go on a target within 2 seconds and you're playing Sombra, I don't understand why we're just letting that. Like, imagine we increased Sig's ult duration because people couldn't find an opportunity to use Sigil in 6 seconds. Like, that makes no sense, right? Or we're increasing, like, you know what I mean? Like, this is an increase of player incompetence. You know what I mean? Like, within 2 seconds, a player should die to an EMP in a coordinated environment. So I don't know if this is really a player incompetence change, which I'm not really a big fan of. So I don't like this change. But of course, this seems like a very divey season. Torb. Overload increase from 75 to 100. Health decrease on overload severely impacted Torb's effectiveness, so we're reverting that change. If Torb's win rate went down, good. I hate Torb. This change is terrible. Revert the revert. Hashtag revert the revert. Torb is been strong, has been strong, will continue to be strong in certain situations, and he's kind of just an annoying character overall. So I don't really care. Revert this revert, please. Tracer pulse pistols, this is because of the bug, back to 6 damage. I don't even know how this happened. I don't even know how anything happened. But so this isn't really necessarily a buff, but good change. Tracer needed a buff, quote unquote. She's very not useful in this current juncture of the game. So I'm glad she's getting a little love. Baptiste. Perfect change, ammo reduction. We need to do more ammo reductions. There shouldn't be constant value in the game. There should not be constant, no need, infinite value. Baptiste has way too much ammo. Good change. Same thing as the May change. Perfect change. These are the kind of things we need to be reducing, is ammo reduction. Like, honestly, Roadhog would be absolutely horrid if he had 3 bullets. You know what I mean? Reduce his bullet back to 5 since Overwatch 1, and he would be completely balanced, honestly. I think that's the next change they should do, is just reduce Roadhog's ammo by 1 or 2, or increase his reload time. One of those few things. I think it'll be fine. But yeah, great change. Whip shot. Why did we ever increase this in the mid-season patch? I don't understand. This is the dumbest change I've ever seen in a long time from the devs. And now they reduced it because Brig is OP. Who knew? Yeah. So just going back on your mistake, which is good. Yeah. Don't. She received but was going to increase her offensive rating. Of course. What did you think was going to happen, honestly, for reducing this for 10, increasing her ult charge gain, everything. This is a dumb change. Increasing healing, increasing ult charge gain. What? You know what I mean? What even is this change? Was that change? Because it's reverted, of course. But glad they reverted it. They made a mistake and they've gone back. Kiriko. Healing of Fuda. Projectile speed increased from 14 to 18 meters per second. Okay. Sure. I don't know why. But fine. And vulnerability duration reduced from 0.85 to 0.65. Good change. Healing explosion increased from 40 to 80 health. Why? I don't understand why they keep doing this to Kiriko. We know Suzu is a stupid ability. We know it's not fun to play against. So we're going to do a minimal change to Suzu and then buff some other part of our kit. Why does it do 80 healing now? Just change this and keep the character exactly the same, and it's a perfect patch. Or do this and do this, but don't do this. Why all three of these changes? That's the thing I'm thinking, right? Or do Healing Explosion, do this for compensation buff, and then don't do this. Like, one of these healing changes should be reduced. 100%. One of these should not be here. One of these changes should not be here. But whatever. I hear Kiriko is like statistically underperforming, but still a very annoying character to play against. Mercy activating Valkyrie no longer disconnects Kadisha staff. I don't even understand why this is a bug. This is a bug. This isn't even a balance change. But sure, yeah. And that's it. That's all the heroes. Overall, tank changes, pretty good. Good balances. I think the Kiriko one's probably the worst one, along with the Torb one. Very good changes. Like the May one, the Baptiste one, perfect changes. Maybe could have been a little bit stronger on the Sig change. We'll have to see how Malga introduces into the game. Winston one's pretty controversial. We'll see how it plays, of course. EMP is pretty controversial as well, but like whatever, it can be played around. So we'll have to see how that changes. I hate the Torb change. I hate the Kiriko change. EMP is pretty annoying. But overall, this patch is really good. Overall, especially within the changes overall in the game over the past couple months, this is a great stepping stone overall. So I'm glad what the team is doing. Maybe we need little tweaks here and there for some other things, of course. But I'm a big fan of all these changes for the most part. We'll just have to see they play in Season 8. Of course, I'll be streaming tomorrow when Season 8 drops. So make sure to catch that stream. I'll probably be playing Malga a little bit after playing Ranked. And so check out that stream. Follow the socials, everything like that. Peace.